happy 28th day in the new golden era with Trump as Messiah Ben David, King of Kings. And so, wow, those blessings just keep coming at me, and I wasn't going to make a video, yada yada, but it's just been so amazing. Behind me is a picture, a painting that I did, and it's Proverbs 14, and which is a wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down. And I was so struck by the, here we go, here comes the sun, do-do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. Okay, are you with me? So, on the screen there, so this is not what I was trying to find. So yesterday when I asked for the Lord for a sign to see whether he wanted me to actually do a video on these amazing things that are happening. So that there is King Uruk of Gilgamesh, and you'll see the Epic of Gilgamesh. You'll see in his hand here, and there's many different depictions. I've never actually seen this one before, so it's just come up on my Facebook. And he holds this bag, this handbag, and and that handbag is in my my ark, my picture of the ark. Before that star turns into the three-storied ark, first of all it becomes a couple of sheep pens, and then it becomes this bag, and which is the kitty in New Zealand, the bag of knowledge. And some people, speculate that it's some kind of a flying device, and that kind of thing. But I'm just going to keep, so that is something I want to talk about, but before I lose it, I just want to show you the amazing other things that I've had. So yesterday I dreamt about Elon Musk again, and this time he, all I can remember of him was his clothes, and he kind of had, at the bottom of his clothes, it was as if they were wings, really. They sort of went down in a cape-like fashion, and out of the bottom of them, it was like glitter was coming out of them. So I sort of took that to be sort of blessings, and, that he was angelic. And the more I read of this, the more I'm believing that. Something happened to me, I should know the date actually, it was, oh that's right, it was the night that I sent away my DNA sample, and that's something that, I've had it here for several years, but, my daughter sort of spooked me out, and, and I also, people sort of say, oh, no, don't send away, don't let them know who you are and all that sort of thing. But, on the night that I finally did, it was quite weird. I have had those two death experiences, and those both times in the death experiences I would be sort of going to this zombie land, after I came back, because when I came back, I knew everything, and I felt like I was God, then I honestly knew everything. This time I didn't go anywhere, nothing happened to me at all, except that I had sent away my DNA, and that I just started having, it was as if a different channel was coming into my consciousness. So I was thinking, my normal one line of thoughts, whatever it is, and then it was like just a conversation just started there to the left, and I'm still got part of me here, and this thing is going on there. It's like, it was very, very strange. And that time I felt that it was as if, so many of you probably don't know, but it's the whole Masonic thing, and it goes back, I don't know if it's actually to Gilgamesh, but these three ruffians, and I believe these three ruffians were having a conversation. I was picking up on that one, and this time over, I think it was just over about a day and a bit that night and the next day. And sometimes I literally had just sort of had to flop down on the ground. My husband was there and sort of just wait until the conversation stopped, whatever they were. And, you know, I suppose most people just think, oh, you're going mad. But yeah, and other things have happened also where I can see through walls, and you know, and when I see that my vision is really, really clear. And I was at, you know, one night I was actually seeing right out to my gate, you know, through my walls. And so that was really quite strange. And last night. So last night I had a strange thing, and it happens when I'm actually awake, so I'm very aware of what's happening. And this time it was about Pete Seger. So Pete Seger, who I didn't know until I looked up. So Pete Seger, and I think I actually had a dream some other time in which I was actually singing his song, If I Had a Hammer. And he actually takes credit for creating this new generation, I'd say the Generation X, of communist kids. They're all the parents, and I know a lot of the parents, you know, they're all teachers, training college and that sort of thing. Hey, Nico. And he said that, that's the children of those parents that came to his concerts back then who have become, you know, the communists. And Pete Seger also himself, Nico, was a communist and went to prison for communism. And and he was blacklisted in the States and all this sort of stuff. And carrying on in that frame, he also, this is my Nico's down here, he's just been a naughty cat, ain't you, Nico? In the same thing, he played with Bruce Springsteen for Obama's inauguration. So, I mean, to my mind, that's all you need to know about Pete Seger. Anyway, wrote some good songs, but they're all very much in that, you know, if I had a hammer, as in sickle and hammer, and stirring up the youth, which is what has brought us to where we are now. And just thank God for J.D. Vance and those men that are standing up. And also, you know, that I believe this is what is saying, because I came across a part in here where he actually talks about these queens, and these queens used to do, you know, it's just certain people, and I believe it's to do with your heritage, were able to, that they would do bloodletting rituals and things like this so that they could actually have these conversations. So I think, you know, it feels to me that this is just something that is happening with this new age, that we are, you know, that we're going into time loops or something like that. You know, well, I am, and I think others are as well. So it's just like a, you know, a strange time. And but in my thing of Pete Seger, I'll just tell you, because I believe that, yeah, I won't say what I believe. I just say that in it there was a wig. He was wearing a wig, and then they said, oh yes, there was definitely a tape made. So it's like that old-fashioned tape. So I'm sure, you know, we know all about certain islands and tapes and whatever have you. So where's I'm going to go? But the really great news is, which I just wanted to share, you know, some of you might know the dreams that I had way back of JFK Jr. being alive, and I actually, you know, put out my leaflets and that sort of thing. I've said it many times, many videos, and that's why I also believed that Trump, that assassination was fake, and because it was actually on the anniversary of JFK's, what was it? JFK Senior's assassination. I think. It's either that or the plane crash. So it's on the video. So I just wanted to show you those. So I was pretty excited yesterday when on my ex, JFK, this and I hadn't followed him or anything like that, but this JFKjnr calling himself, you know, the 17th letter, and started posting. And when you have a look at this, and it absolutely looks just like him as an older man, so yesterday he's talking about the Nasara Gasara, and telling you to get certain crypto coins, RXP and XLM, and that of course is the great you know what that I cannot mention. And so he's now taking credit for being that there, and that is TikTok, get prepared, the end is near. And again, total eclipse. And I've timed so much about the eclipse that we had, you know, that went over America in that X, and starting in, was it 2017, and then that crossed over again in 2022. And I always kept the song, you know, Total Eclipse of the Heart, you know, always kept coming to me. So, yeah, so here it is. But today, this is what he put out today, which really fascinated me, because there's one part here. It says here, every lie will be revealed. And we've got all sorts of things: election, Operation Hydrump, Vegas shooting, Haiti earthquake, Oklahoma bombing, Podesta emails, Clinton emails, Antarctica. But up here also, what do we have? COVID, and then HITLTER. So what in the world, what truth could be coming out about the H-man? You know, maybe that everything that I've told you about on that, look up on that Adolf, HITLEER, the greatest story never told. Look it up. It's incredible. And then he's talking about this new earth, you know, and all this is just so scriptural. So I'm pretty excited. Oh, there's another new one. And this is from Washington as well, so it looks as absolutely kosher as it could possibly be. So that is John F. Kennedy Jr. at Real JFKjnr. So I just wanted to go back now to my arc, because something weird happened. So I did this video and I privatized it, and because as I did the video, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. So to do with this, it was really weird, very sad, and that's what I was looking for in my Facebook. But you know how it is. I was starting to reply to the young woman. You know, it's a picture of a young woman and holding a baby, 2-month-old baby, and she'd put it up on Facebook, and she said this was the last time, you know, the last photo of her baby, and she had taken him in for his 2-month shot, and next thing he was dead. So, you know, and she just said, don't learn the hard way like I did. And sadly, that is exactly, you know, what this is all about. And as I was reading Job, where Job 39 talks about the foolish woman, you know, the woman who doesn't care for her children, you know, likens her to the ostrich. And I could really relate to that, because, you know, no disrespect, but that was my mother to a T. But it also describes this generation, since women have gone out to work, and it's all about them and, you know, their children. You know, they just don't know what happens to the children, and you know, that love, that understanding that your child is the most important thing you could ever do, you know, has been lost to us. And that is so much part of their plan. And oh, what was I reading? I was reading something and it just really occurred to me, you know, that is why the Antichrist attacks the unit, because, you know, the family unit, because it is like the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, God the Father, the Son and the Mother, you know, the Ghost. So the Mother, the Father and the child, you know, that is the Trinity of perfection, which takes us up to new heights. So this poor girl, you know, can you imagine it? And she was obviously just young. She had tats all up her arm. Oh my gosh. So I'll just take you now to my ark again, because what was really weird, on one of my videos, I said that it was 107 years to this, to the day when they found the actual, the ship, you know, the wreck of Endurance down Antarctica. And the way that it just came up on my feed, I thought, oh, that's a laugh. So I made this really, you know, this video of it, and but it was just saying, oh, you know, because the guy's sort of doing this sort of hand signal, I just sort of mocked it because it was, I'll put it in there, of course. I mocked it because of, you know, it was just so, you know, it looked so, here it is, the hand of, oh, okay, so this is the one that I did. Doing this, okay. I should come up on my field. There I am, being silly again. That is obviously so Masonic. Just like Eric Trump. Ooh, and I guess. Okay, so that was just the quick one I did. I'd been very tired and drinking, and it was, but this is, so afterwards I thought, oh, are you just, you know, imagining it? Doesn't really look that, you know, identical to the Masonic sign. So I just privatised it and took it down. Then lo and behold, when I went back to look at it, I couldn't believe it, because you know, it was ridiculous that that, oh, where is it? Okay, I'm going to have to get back to you, aren't I? Because so it's gone missing. Here's a surprise. Okay, I'll get back to you. Okay, there it was all along. Okay, here it is. Shackleton, and it's on history. It seems really rather ridiculous. There it is. Shackleton's lost ship finally found. And we start off with this guy.
An in-depth look at a thrilling recent discovery. As Ernest Shackleton's long-lost ship Endurance is finally found, more than a century after it was trapped in polar ice and sank into the frigid waters of the Antarctic.
Navy in the water.
Torpedo. Shackleton headed one of the most famous expeditions of the 20th century.
Okay, so they go through that part
there. The team makes a difficult call.
And they fail.
The team halts their mission and reluctantly heads home. Shackleton and the team on their...
So there he is giving the sign again, and then afterwards...
This time, the crew realizes their dream.
One of the most remarkable stories of survival and determination. 10,000 feet below the surface of Antarctica's Weddell Sea.
The secret the ocean has kept hidden for over 100 years.
They find the Endurance, resting on the seafloor.
Okay, so can you see that? Does that look like a real ship to you?
Nearly 2 miles down, as Menson anticipated, the ship.
Does this look like a real ship to you? It just looks like a really poorly made.
Is largely intact, standing upright, its wood well preserved.
I mean, are you kidding me?
By the cold.
It's a model. So, what in the world?
The team leaves the wreck untouched. Endurance remains in its final resting place, a chilling monument to the singular courage of Ernest Shackleton and his men.
Okay, so the mystery goes on. So then I thought, well, that is absolutely ridiculous. So I said, well, what happened on 6th of March 2022, which is when I actually filmed it. And lo and behold, hang on, Zelensky, so we have, I think it's here, Zelensky, we've got here March the 1st, let's have, here we have March the 5th, Ernest Shackleton's ship Endurance that sank in 1915 is rediscovered after 107 years. And then we get here that March the 8th, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky invokes Winston Churchill speaking virtually to the UK Parliament. We will not fail, we will fight till the end. Okay, so I don't know if any of you know yet, but I believe that that is what we're going to find out through JFK revelation when he said Hitler, we're going to find out how it was that son of a bitch who was the cause of all these men dying, and you know, just horrendous. Just like Zelensky, the war that should never have been, as Trump keeps saying. So I think I'll leave it at that. You know, it's another amazing thing that happened that day with Elon was after the picture of the poor little girl, there was then Elon and her baby, Elon asking for suggesting a petition to take Whoopi Goldberg off air, her and The View, which of course so is asking for for feedback whether he should try and make it happen, which of course what a fantastic idea, because this is the thing, this is these women, these women who just, I wonder if I can just find it quickly in my great big old Bible. Women have become so foolish, leaving their children to other people and not realising the gift that they are, or not caring. But the next one was a picture of him with his 13 children and their mothers, and who live in the house, the huge mansion that he has. So I was like, oh, I didn't know he was Mormon, but I believe, that's where we're going to, go to, and why it's important, as I showed you before in Isaiah, is it Isaiah 4, when it said 7 in those days. In those days, 7 women will take the hand of one man and say, We will provide our own food, we will provide our own clothes, but just let us belong to you. Take away our shame. You know, that as the Bible also says, that men will be rarer than gold of Ophir. So this is, you know, I'm just telling you this because in case you've lost your faith in the Bible because of the amazing work by people like Paul Wallace and Billy Carson, you know, all these, you know, they are bringing out these amazing things of our history, you know. But for a lot of people, I think if they don't have the Holy Spirit, they don't have a real relationship, and they have a relationship with the Word, you know. And that's why for me, you know, I'm so blessed because it's the prophets and usually the minor prophets and that have influenced me so much. And, you know, they are untouched, you know, that they are some miracle, you know. I think maybe because the interpreters sort of didn't know what they meant themselves. I mean, how can, you know, when you see a scripture like that, 7 women, you know, will take the hand of one man, you know, that it seems so incredulous. They probably didn't think they had to bother about, you know, messing around with it because nobody's going to believe it anyway. And, you know, and they couldn't believe it. So, but this is the incredible thing, and that's just with Jesus, you know, how the prophecy, you know, that's the percentage of the Bible that's prophecy. So if you don't believe, you know, about God, you know, look, just start reading the prophecy. And I would just love to show you Daniel, the book of Daniel, how just every part of it has just come true. And in my case, in Wanganui, you know, our people, our council were actually responsible for installing the taniwha. In New Zealand that's called a dragon, you know, that's the Maori dragon from our river, and they thought it was a wonderful thing, this evil spirit. And Dennis and I were on the veranda, we saw the blooming thing fly over, and we didn't know what it was then because we don't get the newspaper. So it wasn't until a couple of days later that there's a free paper that comes, and we actually saw, we thought, oh, you know, these idiots, our councillors who have now signed a pact with the Maori, you know, that they went and, you know, they also made the river into a person. So our river is actually a person, and the voice was given to Tariana Turia, who has since died. So I don't know who's going to have the voice of the river now. But the saddest thing, you know, when I see what they did, what Tariana did, that she got that taniwha into the river, you know, into the parliament, and that parliament, so that was just before Jacinda came into power, and that was, you know, what gave her the power to actually become the Revelation 12 beast from the land, and she instituted the mark of the BEAST. You know, she was the first one to mandate the jabs so that you couldn't work, you couldn't buy or sell, you couldn't work if you didn't have that mark. So that's good old New Zealand and good old Wanganui, and they still haven't, you know, realised just, you know, the timing, that because they don't believe the things they do, they go up there, and as long as New York Times tells them how clever they are, you know, they just, you know, believe it, you know, because they're all these, you know, Seger acolytes, these, you know, these little commies, you know. And yeah, so anyway, I think that's, you know, and they, I mean, would Tariana been so keen to get that taniwha put into the Parliament, installed in Parliament like it was a god, you know, because it's exactly what they're doing, and then find out that her own precious, you know, star of a grandson, you know, died 2 weeks after she did, you know, suddenly, you know, and he's just a young fit sportsman, rugby or football player, you know. So, you know, this is just evidence of these women who, I won't say anymore, but, you know, God is not mocked, you know, and, you know, we, as the Bible says, you know, when God's judgments are in the earth, the people learn righteousness. Another thing that came up in my X was this guy O'Keefe showing what's happening in Ireland, and it will just break your heart. But for those of us who belong to the Lord, we will be kept underneath those wonderful mighty wings. And, you know, and I believe that was part of that dream that I had of Elon, these wings. So anyway, that's all. Bless you all. It's hot over here. I hope you're looking after yourself and are in confidence and rejoicing. You know, JFK has returned, just like he said, and he's cute. Bye-bye. Thought I'd better just finish on that handbag that I started off, you know, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and for you to have the understanding that every time that we are at the time of the great Ouroboros, at the time of the New Age, you know, that these helpers have come, and that's why, you know, when the UFO thing happens, you're not to fear. And that is Jesus also, when he talks about the sheep pens, you know, he says, I have sheep in other pens that I must also bring. Don't quote me on that one, but that, you know, that. So I'll just show you here when it turns into this from the star. You understand that I'm just focusing on this tiny little star from my bedroom window with my little camera. And in this one here, I'm also got my husband's sky view free, so I'm looking at two things. So here, so I just want to go there. So we start, there's the little star, and then it goes like this. Okay, so it's now, as I click zoom size, and there you've got Shackleton's face on the front and the cross. So isn't it amazing that they would, so it's obviously very Masonic to do with the timing of the date, whatever the 6th of March was, that they had to make this fake, you know, discovery. You know, I mean, surely if they had honestly discovered it, okay, that you would see, they would have pictures of the real thing. So, but here is the real thing. It's obviously, I don't know what it is. It's a hologram. It was just from a star, and that's how it morphed. And at one point it just looks just like the handbag, which is the knowledge. So here also it looks like images that you'll find in the pyramids of the beehive and of the chamber. Okay, so here is where I say it just looks like the bag of knowledge, which of course it is, and he was a symbol of it, and the whole Antarctica connection, and why it was that Jacinda also went down there, just as John Kerry went there after Hillary lost. Jacinda went rushing down there and then came back, and obviously was given the hard word that it was time for her to exit stage right. So came back, and all of a sudden she doesn't have anything left in her tank. So yeah, if you don't believe in miracles, sorry to upset your apple cart, but I've got too many for you to deny as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Bye-bye.